What's up guys, Technumber here for Server.pro and welcome to this tutorial for installing and using vEconomy. vEconomy is a super simple Vault-compatible economy plugin designed to work around MySQL with efficiency in mind. To install the plugin, head over to the plugin section, select the Spigot tab and search for vEconomy. Install the version that's compatible with your server and restart. Alternatively, you can download it from the Spigot page and upload it to your Server.pro panel. Keep in mind that the plugin also requires the Vault plugin to work properly. You can see what plugins you already have installed by going to the Install tab under Plugins. vEconomy requires a little setup before we can actually get anywhere. After starting the server, we'll have to turn it off again. You'll likely see errors in console about the plugin not starting properly, but that's just because it was creating a config file that we need to go and edit. We first need to fill in some MySQL database information for the plugin to actually work and start. This is where all of the balances and info will be stored. Now of course, this plugin needs a MySQL database, and on Server.pro we provide you with one on our Pro plans. If you're not using Server.pro, ensure that you have a database, that it's online and running. To enable your MySQL database on Server.pro, go to the MySQL tab and click Enable. You will then get your details, but before you go and enter those details into the config of the plugin, you'll need to restart your server for the appropriate files to generate. Once the restart has completed, you'll see a new MySQL folder in the Files tab. Make sure it's there, otherwise this next step won't work. I'll open the Files section in another window, as we'll be referring back to this page quite often. Locate the config in the Plugins folder. Config.yml is the file we're editing. After opening it, at the very top we'll see settings in all caps starting with a db underscore. We need to change these settings to match our database info from the other tab before starting up our server again. First, I'll copy the IP address from the MySQL tab and put it next to our db host. Then dbuser is the username on the right hand side, which by default is root, and so is this. db_pw is the password, which we can just copy across from our MySQL page. db_db is the name of the database, which we can grab from our MySQL panel. By default, it's Server.pro_db. db_port by default is 3306 on both sides, and as you can see, it's the same in both the config and our MySQL panel, so I don't need to change anything. After the MySQL server was enabled and we entered the config info, we can now start customizing the actual plugin. We can change the currency type and name to display it as we see fit. Of course, you can choose to name it after a real currency or make one up yourself. We can change the amount of money new users are given when they first connect, and even set a maximum their balances can reach. If uselogs is true, you can see and monitor exactly what transactions and commands are run that involve the plugin in the database, but we'll see this in action later. The last section is messages. In here, we can change the messages the plugin sends back to us in chat. Once everything is set up and we're in game, we can use the /help economy main command to get a list of commands for the plugin. Before getting into actually using the commands, I'll connect to the database using a tool like MySQL Workbench to view and possibly edit players' balances directly. This will help us better understand what's going on in the background. After adding the server to our MySQL Workbench or program of your choice, opening the main database and opening the vEconomy table, we can simply just retrieve all of the info that's there already. We can see all the connected players have their start balance as we defined earlier. Instead of showing the entire program, I'll just take screenshots and show the important section when it's needed. If you've used Essentials X or another economy plugin, then you're probably already familiar with the commands that we'll be using. Use /bal, /balance, or /money to check your own balance. We can send money to other users with /pay followed by a name and an amount. I'll send 50 credits to the other account on the server and check my balance once again. We'll both be notified in chat that the payment went through. To see who has the most money on the server, we can simply use /bal top. Admins can use the /eco command /eco. We can use /eco set, give or take, followed by a player's name and an amount to edit the player's balance directly. Admins can also run /reload economy to reload the plugin's config. On top of that, If your server's already running a supported economy plugin, such as Essentials X or Gems Economy, then we can import all of the user data from that plugin using a simple command. This will copy across everything from those plugins, making migrating much easier. To do this, we can run /economy import followed by Essentials or Gems Economy, followed by the plugin storage type. We have the options for YML, MySQL, and SQLite. If Essentials store data in our files, we'd use YML, followed by true or false. If we say true, then the current balances will be overwritten. If we say false instead, then only players that haven't connected and used the plugin yet will have their balances copied across from the old plugin to the new one. The plugin should work well with other plugins that use Vault, such as shops. Anyways, I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any plugin suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. If you're having issues with anything, contact our support team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!